Welcome to Talk to the Future, where the future of sales isn't predicted, it's built. Each episode features real conversations with the operators, marketers, and innovators driving what's next. From AI and automation to the strategies that are converting right now. No fluff, just what's working.
Mr. Bigley here, live from LeadsCon in Vegas. I have Andrew with me. Now, usually I'd ask Andrew, I'd say, hey, tell us a little bit about yourself, and we'll still get into that, but I actually work with Andrew, and Andrew has a offshore, nearshore staffing firm for people with in-depth technical knowledge, specifically for running ads, handling leads, and anything that the lead generation industry or a company running leads would need to have. And I have one of his guys on my team, and I absolutely love the guy I have from you.
Oh, I'm glad.
He's fantastic.
Okay, good.
You can tell Lau I said that, right?
Okay. All right, sounds good.
But, I can't give you a high enough recommendation that they know all these platforms already. They know how to use Ringba. They know how to use TrackDrive. They know how to use, Retriever or Mojo. They know how to use the ping post platforms already. So the people are coming in with all that industry knowledge that is, frankly, what I think almost everyone needs help with. They go and they try to set up one of these new platforms. They have no idea how to use it.
Great.
So,
well, thanks for that explanation. You did that job better than me.
So tell us about yourself. How'd you get involved in this?
Yeah, sure. So I've been in the lead gen industry for, I don't know, maybe going 12 years now or something like that. And, I immediately entered into pay-per-call. And back in the day, when I joined to...
You had to be early.
Yeah, it was very early. It was easier to monetize on things, and everything was static, right? But everything evolved to now RTB, and there's a lot more complexity. And I started out my career with this company called Uma, and then I got hired at Visiqua. They have a booth here too, and I got hired to run their pay-per-call business, and that was, I don't know, like 7 years ago or something like that. And I was there for a long time. And, and that's where I learned a lot about pay-per-call. And back in those days, I mean, even when you are doing business development, eventually we end up having our ad ops person in-house. But, you were, as a pay-per-call person, even though you do all the affiliate management and dealing with the buyers and everything else, you were expected to also know how to set up campaigns on your own. You didn't, so for instance, if you get a spec on your campaign, you were expected to set that campaign. At the time we were using Invoca, then we migrated to also Leadspedia, and that was just an expectation. But now, or at least from 5 years ago, those people that are either owners or people that are getting into pay-per-call, and they're like a media buyer that was doing e-com, and now they're doing pay-per-call as well. They know that part really well. They know how to do media buying. They know how to generate calls. They know how to get clients. But handling Ringba or Retriever or Leadspedia, call tracking, leads tracking platform, that has done, it's a beast in itself. And so you have to have someone to manage it. And I certainly needed that help when I was running my own company after I left Visiqua. And so I hired an individual in Argentina. And prior to that, I was using a lot of folks out of Asia as well. But and there's nothing wrong with that. But what was just really special about my team member in Argentina, number one, not the time difference. When the folks they're working night shift. And so it wasn't as consistent.
Some people don't like getting their phone rang at 3 a.m. or 4 a.m.
And so they have to match. They have to match our hours. But Argentina, I live in New York, so it's only 1 hour difference, and so there was no challenge. Like, they were fully engaged during the day that I'm working, and also, I would say the strength of working with folks in Argentina or South America is that I think there was a little bit better cultural fit when we are talking every day, getting on Zoom or Google Meets or whatever, and just working remotely together as though they're actually in the same office working. And setting right expectation and things like that. It's just the communication was a little bit more seamless.
I'm in Miami, and shoot, they can come up and visit. Like, it's almost like there's someone who'd live in Miami that I would hire out of Miami.
Yeah. And they might
except
have
probably a little better than the people that get in Miami.
they might have a little bit of Spanish accent, but I think a lot of folks in the U.S. are accustomed to that, right? Especially when you live in Miami. I live in New York now, and there's also a lot of Spanish-speaking people over there. But prior to that, I live in San Francisco and L.A. And and I think a lot of us are. I mean, some of them don't even have any accent. But even if they were to have a little bit of Spanish accent, speaking English, I think a lot of consumers here in the U.S. are used to that. And so I think that also kind of helps.
It's so what. It's very easy to understand. There's no language barrier. Their English is perfect for all intents and purposes. They know the words. They know how to say them. So I don't care if there's a small accent. I have an accent. It's more that they know how to use these systems.
Correct. Yeah, and also I think Argentina. I mean, it has changed a lot, especially since they have the new president. Well, he's not new. He's been. Having that.
They're up and coming now with Milei.
Yeah, Milei. Yeah, exactly. And so when he first entered when he first became the president, there was a lot of issue with inflation. It was like year over year. They experienced 280% inflation year over year. So during that time, it was tough because my cost went up because of the inflation situation. But regardless,
the inflation made your cost go up.
Yeah, because dollar strength stay kind of about the same, but the living costs just went up like through the roof because I mean it got to the point where whenever my folks got paid, they would just spend the money right away because that let's say you need like a toothpaste, if you buy it, the price that you buy it that day versus you wait another 2 weeks, I mean it was already like, I don't know, 30-40% higher.
This is right out of an economics textbook.
Yeah, it was crazy. I never saw that in my life, and I had to experience it through my folks out in Argentina, and so ultimately I had to pay higher. However, the other thing what I'm trying to explain is that the one thing that's great about Argentina is that they have free healthcare, but also have their free education. Anyone, if they have the drive, can go all the way to get their PhD degree at the highest university level for completely free. So what you have is very highly educated people, but their job market is not as good as, say, like other countries. And so these people are getting like just very high education degree, and then they come out to the workforce or they don't have a job.
There's no opportunity.
Yeah, and so they're very hungry. And so when they saw the opportunity to learn a platform and be more analytical with their skill set and their intelligence, they just took it upon themselves to learn it and just and master it. And so and they taught me that it doesn't take a year for them to master how to set up campaigns, analyze, and run day to day, doing ops work for our industry. And so when that started to happen in the span of 3-4 months, I just let them have direct meetings with my publishers and buyers. Yeah. And then what happened without me? So they started to have relationship without me. And then those buyers and publishers would come to me and say, your team in Argentina are incredible. I need someone like that. Can you make me an introduction? So I was doing that casually.
I know you're working with a lot of my friends too.
Yeah.
That you have people with a lot of and I hear the same thing from everyone.
Yeah, So they became like more self-sufficient, and I didn't have to like really manage them. And so eventually that turned into a business that I never thought like I was gonna, I thought I'm just gonna be doing lead gen, as usual. But I never thought I would start a staffing company. But it was out of just natural demand from my friends and like the business colleagues that actually also wanted it. So it naturally just became a business, and that was about 3.5 years ago.
It's fantastic, and you've grown like crazy then.
We have, but also life is changing. Just like your tool, we're utilizing your tool, and it's helping us.
What are your thoughts on Bigly?
I think you guys. I mean, what I like about it is that there are many AI dialers that are out there, but you truly understand the all the intricacies that's required for our space. Compliance issues, also having knowledge, directly working with the carriers, also knowing like specific verticals and what works and what doesn't, and helping us with even like coming up with the right script, or being able to talk our language and having somebody on the other side understand what we're talking about. Because not every day is pretty, right? And also we rely on good data, and sometimes you try hard to get the good data, but then it doesn't work out, and sometimes they're not even compliant. And so when we have to deal with those type of things, we have to have partnership on the other side that provides us with these AI tools that really understand what we're talking about. So the value is for me to pick up a call and talk to you or talk to your team, and they know what we're talking about, and they always come back with a solution, or it feels like a extended team, just like how we offer our solution to our client. And the reason why they keep using us is because we understand all the details and intricacy that requires to run your business in lead gen space. And I think Bitly also has that, compared to other tools. Tools are tools. We know their capability, but someone's got to go in and be able to manage it properly for us. And because you also come from the industry, and then you have a lot of, we have mutual friends, and they also utilize your tools. So I know that those things actually matter, like those intangible things, right? And so I think that's where you guys really shine, and there's a lot of opportunity. And and I think things are finally changing. But even like a few months ago, when we met in San Diego for like Lead Generation World, there are a lot of people on the fence about utilizing AI tools, for especially on the call center side, not because of its capabilities. Its capabilities already, like everybody knows that this can easily replace a human being and have like this amazing interaction. But it's more about like compliance, and also like just how like FCC sees this whole thing and whatever. So you really have to understand all of those things to actually run it. And you're like in tune with all of that. And I think that's a really big part of running an AI. Running a call center with an AI too. You really have to be up to date with all of these things. And I was convinced that you're one of those people, and you are. But through the working relationship we have, it was very meaningful to learn from each other and keep moving forward with this amazing technology, so that at the end of the day, it's a win-win situation for everybody, from the carrier, the buyer, even the consumer. We're targeting them the right way.
The consumer as well. The consumer's got to win.
Exactly. So
it's got to be a great consumer CX experience as well.
Yeah. And so I see lots of potential. It's still a new frontier that everyone has to kind of get acquainted, and there are still some challenges in the sense that like there's devils in the details, so there's all these little kinks to be worked out. But I don't see anybody who's better partner to figure that out than you guys.
So nice for you to say that here on air in front of the whole world. Before we wrap up here, any last things that you want to tell the audience? Anything you want to say about yourself or your business, or where they can find you?
Yeah, sure. You can always find us at a-teamwork.com. A-team. A-team. The meaning of it was Argentina or Andrew, or actually the real meaning is the sitcom in the 80s.
I have Mr. T. It's going through my head the entire time. Every time I hear 18.
Yeah. So when you're in a spot where you need to scale, or you don't know what to do, whatever, we'll show up in a van and we'll fix the problem for you with Mr. T. But also, to wrap up, the thing that I will say is that even our business, A-Teamwork is changing. It was virtual staffing company, but more and more, it sounds a little bit cliche, but it's becoming more of human plus AI, right? We have to live with AI, and we have to learn how to work and live with AI, right?
How much of your team is using Claude Code or Codex now?
All of them.
100% of my team too.
Yeah.
It's 100%.
Yeah, and so it's constantly changing. It is scary. Because one of the observations that I'm seeing, with some of our clients is that, we introduced some of the AI tools for them, some of the things that we built internally, and on the owner side, they always love it, they always invite it, and so they say, okay, let's execute with our team, and then you have some legacy person who sits there, and they feel threatened. that all of a sudden what they were doing is a big value is going to be replaced by AI. But I will say that is not true at all. If anything, you should embrace AI so that you can do more, or you can do other things to run your business and scale more. And I think this is where call center opportunity with Bigly is a big opportunity. I know that it can be a little bit scary because it's not human, and then you're kind of thinking, well, like it's scripted, one dimensional. Like how are they going to respond to a consumer saying something outside of the template, right? Well, but the nice thing is that now, like, AI can also learn. You can fine tune it, and so I think with all of that, with everything that I said about just the concerns about TCPA, the compliance, and how to do it right, I don't see anybody at the moment who's a better partner than having to have a partnership with Bigly. So I think what it is that you have to have open mind, and then try it, because I mean this is how everybody in our space that are making good money. That's how we got here. Things change. You have to have open mind and then try it, make some few mistakes.
The opportunity is where the change is.
And then you hit big, right? I mean that's always been the sauce for our success. And so Bigly can be the tool for the next wave of success that we're going to find, right?
Yeah.
So anyway,
I believe that if you're dealing with the Chinese letters, that change is opportunity and threat put together.
Yeah.
That's how they made it. Those two characters, the character for opportunity and the character for threat, is change.
Yeah, I like that. That's the truth. No pain, no gain, right? So yeah.
All right. Hey, thank you so much for coming on. I really appreciate it. This was great.
Yeah. Cool.
Thanks for tuning in to Talk to the Future, where the future of sales isn't predicted, it's built. If you got value from this episode, make sure to subscribe, share it with your team, and stay connected for more conversations with the people driving what's next. Because what's working tomorrow is already being built today.